Every night, it's the same routine. Clock out at 1:45 a.m., walk the 3 blocks to the subway station, and catch the 2 a.m. train. The last one of the night, or maybe the first one of the day, depending on how you look at it. For me, it's just the end of a long shift. The platform is always deserted, just the hum of the fluorescent lights and the distant rumble of the approaching train. It's a kind of lonely peace I've gotten used to. The train doors slide open with a sigh, and I step into the same car every single time. It's always empty, save for one other person. They're always at the far end of the car, sitting with their back to me, staring out the window into the blackness of the tunnel. I've never seen their face, never heard them move. They're just a fixture, a part of the nightly ritual, a silent companion on my journey home. I usually just put in my earbuds, lean my head against the cool glass, and let the rhythmic clatter of the tracks lull me into a half-sleep. Last Tuesday was different. The shift had been brutal. A 14-hour marathon of spreadsheets and lukewarm coffee. I was exhausted, bone-tired in a way that felt like my soul had been wrung out like a wet rag. When I slumped into my usual seat on the train, I didn't even bother with music. My eyelids felt like lead weights. The train pulled away from the station, and the familiar rocking motion was like a cradle. Just a few stops, Primera told myself. I'll just rest my eyes for a minute. That minute, of course, stretched. My head lolled to the side, and I fell deep into a heavy, dreamless sleep. I don't know how long I was out. It could have been minutes or hours. What woke me was the change in sound. The familiar, almost comforting clatter of the wheels on the track was still there, but something else was wrong. The automated announcement, the robotic voice that calls out the station names, was speaking. But it wasn't English. It wasn't any language I'd ever heard. It sounded like a recording played backward, a garbled series of clicks and guttural hisses that made the hair on my arms stand up. I snapped awake, my heart instantly hammering against my ribs. My stop. I'd missed my stop. I scrambled to my feet, my bag sliding off my lap and hitting the floor with a thud. I looked out the window, expecting to see the familiar platform of the next station down the line. But there was nothing, just an endless, suffocating blackness. The train wasn't slowing down. If anything, it felt like it was picking up speed, hurtling through the tunnel at a reckless pace. Panic began to bubble up in my chest. I lurched toward the emergency brake handle, my mind racing. Then I remembered I wasn't alone. I turned my head, my eyes darting to the far end of the car. The other passenger. They were still there, but they weren't sitting anymore. They were standing, perfectly still, in the center of the aisle. The silence in the car was suddenly deafening, broken only by the screeching of the wheels and the nonsensical babbling from the speakers. My breath caught in my throat. I wanted to call out, to ask what was going on, but the words wouldn't form. It was like my voice had been stolen. Slowly, so slowly it felt like an eternity. The figure began to turn. The fabric of their coat rustled in the oppressive silence. My heart was a drum, each beat a painful throb in my ears. I was frozen, pinned to the spot by a primal fear I had never known. They completed their turn, and they faced me, and I finally saw what I had only ever seen the back of. There was no face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. Just a smooth, pale, and completely blank expanse of skin. Like a mannequin that had been sanded down, it was a void, a featureless oval that seemed to absorb the light in the car. I screamed. I'm not sure if any sound actually came out, but my lungs burned with the effort. That thing took a step toward me. A slow, deliberate, gliding motion. Its shoes made no sound on the grimy floor. The train lights flickered, casting the car in a strobe of light and shadow, making the faceless head seem to twitch and distort with each flash. I stumbled backward, my hand fumbling blindly for the door. It wouldn't open. Of course, it wouldn't open. The train was still moving, faster and faster. I hammered on the glass with my fists, my reflection a mask of pure terror. Out the window, we blew past the station, a blur of tiled walls and faded advertisements, without even a hint of slowing down. The announcement system hissed and popped, the backward language growing louder, more insistent. It felt like it was speaking to me, or about me. Another step. The thing was closer now. I could see the texture of its coat, a dark, heavy wool. I could smell something, too, a faint, cloying scent, like damp earth and old, forgotten things. Primera ba, Skeda Wise shuffling down the aisle. My eyes locked on that horrifying, smooth face. Where were its eyes? Was it watching me? I could feel a gaze on me, an intense, crushing pressure. Even though there was nothing there to see with, my back hit the cold metal of the opposite door. A dead end. I was trapped. It was halfway down the car now, its movements unnervingly calm and purposeful. There was no aggression, no menace in its posture, which somehow made it 1,000 times more terrifying. It was just coming for me, like it was collecting a package. The lights flickered again, and for a terrifying second, the car was plunged into total darkness. When they came back on, it was right in front of me, so close I could have reached out and touched that impossibly smooth skin. It filled my entire field of vision. The smell was overpowering now, thick and suffocating. I squeezed my eyes shut, bracing for whatever was going to happen. I waited and waited. Nothing. The sound of the train, the garbled announcements, the feeling of movement, it all just stopped. A complete and total silence fell. After what felt like an hour, I slowly, hesitantly opened my eyes. I was alone. The car was empty. The faceless passenger was gone. The train was motionless, resting in the dead quiet of a station. My station. I looked out the window, and there it was, the familiar cracked tiles and peeling paint of my home stop. The doors slid open with a gentle hiss. I didn't hesitate. I bolted from the train, scrambling onto the platform and not stopping until I was up the stairs and out in the cool night air. I didn't look back. I couldn't. I sprinted all the way home, my lungs burning, my mind a swirling vortex of horror and disbelief. I haven't taken the subway since. I take the bus now, even though it adds an hour to my commute. I walk home in the dark, constantly looking over my shoulder. Sometimes, when it's late and the street is empty, I feel a prickling on the back of my neck. A feeling of being watched by something without eyes. I still have nightmares. In my dreams, I'm back on that train, hurtling through an endless tunnel. The garbled voice is whispering my name, backward, and the passenger with no face is sitting across from me, patiently waiting. I don't know what it was. A dream, a hallucination brought on by exhaustion. Or did I fall asleep and ride the train to its final stop? A place not on any map, a place where the trains never stop, and the only other passenger is waiting for you to wake up. I don't want to know. All I know is that I'll never take the 2 a.m. train again. Some things are better left unknown, buried deep in the tunnels beneath the city. Thanks for listening to my story. If you've ever had a creepy encounter on public transport, let me know in the comments below. Stay safe out there, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more strange tales. See you next time.